All right, so I'm going to do a little bit of each section to make sure we get practice everything here, and I cover it in one video. Once again, you do as much practice as you want to do, okay? So do as much practice as you want to do or you need to do. None of this is required, aka I will not make it a due date. Any homework that's missing, get it in by Monday. I'm going to check the final thing by Monday, okay? So any homework that's not graded yet, get it in by Monday. Now the first 8 questions here, it just says, please use a verbal phrase to describe it. Basically say it in words. On your test, I will not ask you to do this, but this is still useful to practice reading these things. So number 1, x is less than 5. So we would say x is less than 5, okay?
5 is greater than x.
You could, but that's not how it's written. So write what's written, read what's written. But that is true also. But read what's written. So here, it's just asking to write it out. Again, I will not ask you that on the test. Just please be able to read it out loud to yourself. Number 4, -7 is less than or equal to x. So -7.
More, same thing.
What's up?
Or is it like?
If greater than and more,
Yeah, same thing.
that's not the proper way to say it. So if 5 is more than 3, that's still correct. I will take it. But again, I'm not asking you these questions. I'm just saying be able to read it. So if you say more or greater, I don't mind. However you read it to yourself, as long as you understand it. So -7 is less than or equal to x, okay? Just as 2 examples, okay? Next one. Given a picture of the graph, please write the inequality. So this one you will get. So these, it's basically the reverse. We spend so much time drawing the lines. I want to make sure you know what the lines actually mean. Okay? So for that in mind, for number 9, I would like you for this one to show me, since it's a closed circle and it's going to the left, that means x is less than or equal to 6. So number 9, you're going to write into that.
Wait, for number 4, did you rewrite it first?
No.
Wait, what do you know what's
I'm just reading what's given there.
It was you read like on test.
You could rewrite it on the test, so it makes it easier for you. Perfectly
I have a
fine.
question. What do you know? How do you know what to write?
And this one? So there's 2 things I'm looking at. I'm looking at what number the dot is at. That's the 6. And I'm looking at, this is a solid circle. Because that's a solid circle, I'll try to color code it. So because this is 6, this becomes a 6. And because this is a solid circle, this is a greater than or equal to. Okay? While this one is at 0 and an open circle. So that's going to be x is greater than, so it's bigger than 0, 0. No line underneath. Very important. No line underneath. Hold up. Okay. So no line underneath on that one, okay? So I will ask you those kind of questions, be able to translate, okay? Over here, number 15, be able to sketch a graph. How I eventually decide to do it, I would like you guys to put 0 in the middle, and then negative the number you have, and the positive the number you have. So -6, 0, 6. If you just do 6 and you put something smaller, like 5, and something bigger than 7, I don't mind, as long as the numbers make sense. So don't have something bigger on the left or something smaller on the right. Either way, in this case, x is greater than or equal to 6. So x will be a closed circle on 6. If you draw it like this, by the way, over the line, that's perfectly fine also. Some people like to draw it over the line, that's fine. And then x is bigger or greater than or equal to 6. So I'm going to go to the right. And again, if you draw it over the line, I don't mind either. P is less than -1. So P is less than -1. So I'll put 0, -1, 1. Open circle on the P, or open circle on -1. P is smaller than -1. So I go to the left. Number 21 is asking you to put it from words into inequality. I will give you 2 or 3 of these. So be able to translate from words to inequality. X is greater than or equal to 8. So x is greater than or equal to 8. 0, 8, -8. Closed circle on 8, x is greater than or equal to, so bigger than 8.
Is that just the opposite of what we did in the beginning?
Yes. So I give you words, give it into symbols. 14 is greater than or equal to x. For this one, 14 is greater than or equal to x. If you make it easier for yourself, you could always swap the x. So you could say x is less than or equal to 14. And maybe that one's a little easier to graph for you. Either way, I don't care how you visualize it or how you think about it, as long as you get the graph correct. So 0, negative 14, positive 14. Close circle, move to the left. And this part here, solve your solution. Remember, to solve, you just get the variable by itself. So minus 3, minus 3. It's exactly the same algebra we've been doing all year. So A is greater than 5. 0, 5, negative 5. Open circle at 5. A is bigger than 5, so to the right. Plus 1, plus 1. X is less than or equal to 5. Again, I guess so. 0, negative 5, plus 5. X is on 5, so that's a closed circle because it's greater, less than or equal to the left. On your worksheet, every page should have the answers on the back, so you can always flip to the back. All right, 5.2. In this case, it asks you for 1 through 4 just what property. It doesn't even ask you what to do or to do it, but just ask you what you would do here. So in this case, I would divide on both sides. Okay. The one thing, or I would divide by 8, I should say. And whether you do the math or not, that's okay. It's just asking you to tell you the first step. On the test, of course, you would actually do the math. But the important part here is in number 3, because I would divide by a negative 2, you also want to think about it, you will flip the inequality. And I'll just be short with INP, inequality. But you would flip the inequality because I divided by a negative 2. Or in number 4, I would multiply a negative 3, because negative and 3, I want to get rid of them at the same time. That will also cause a flip inequality. So when it comes to multiplication or division, if the thing you're moving over is negative, not the result, but the thing you're moving over is negative, then you flip. Okay? So for number 5, I would divide 4 on both sides. X is less than 2. So that'll be option C.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
For the property one, like the first one that you just did,
Yes.
you had like say every single step.
On your test, I will not ask you to do that. You would just do math. But it's just to practice, like, knowing what to do. Yeah. Again, this is practice, so this doesn't represent how your test actually looks like. Says that. This one I would divide by negative 4 on both sides.
So you just solve it for that one without graphing this part?
Yeah, it's just asking you to solve. So this case is x, but I have to flip it because it's negative 4. So x is less than negative 2. So x is less than negative 2. So that's A. What's up?
Are you actually doing the test?
What do you mean?
Matching?
No.
Oh, can you?
No. Why would I do that? You just give me the answer. Like, you have to find the answer to give me the answer. Like, why would I give the extra stuff to that?
Wait, so what?
I don't know. I think it just adds, some uniqueness.
Oh, wow. X is greater than 2. Luckily about math, I don't need to be unique. So the x is greater than 2, so that's D. And then x is greater than -2. Here, I'm dividing by 2. And even though -4 is on the other side, the thing that's moving over is positive. So in that case, I don't have to flip anything.
When do you not have to flip anything?
If the thing that you're dividing is positive, then you don't need to.
While this is negative, I'm moving over, so I do flip. Okay? So even though the result is negative, or I'm going into a negative, that's okay. But if I'm moving negative, I have to flip. So this is just x is greater than 2, so that should be the last letter, which is B. Again, this one is just translating. I'm not gonna. Oh, I'll give you like in a question, but you're just translating the product of 3 and x. So the product is what kind of question? Multiplication.
Wait, so that's not gonna be on the test?
No, this could be on the test. Not like a matching, but it'll be like make this into words in a graph.
Shoot, I don't remember.
Will you ever give like extra credit anywhere? No.
No, I don't like extra credit. It turns out only people who get extra credit are the people who get like 95s. So
Really?
yeah, it doesn't really help the general people.
You think people don't know it?
You
On-
saying
on
you're not
average.
all getting 95?
You think other people won't get any credit?
You're saying not every single person in this class is always getting over 95.
No, they're
I could say that,
definitely
yeah.
not.
I
That's
think
not-
it's being
that's not
consistent,
wise. So the product of 3 and x, that's multiplication. So 3x is less than 9. So it's smaller than 9. So that would be C. I'll leave the rest for you guys, okay? All right. To remind you guys, it is recording, so don't try to say anything stupid.
Exactly.
Joey, you know I'm talking to you, brother. So divided by 4, divided by 4.
Stop being rude, man.
X is greater than or equal to 6, 0, 6, -6. X is bigger than or equal to 6. So close circle to the right. I'll do 14 just because it's a negative, so point that out. Divided by -2. Divided by -2. M is less than -10. So I have to flip the sign because I moved over a negative. I have to flip the sign because I moved over a negative. So it becomes M is less than -10. So 0, -10, +10. M is less than -10. Open circle because it's not equal to, it's just less than. And M is less than -10, so it moves to the left. Any harder questions? Let me see. I'll do 17 just to make sure. Because you have it as divided by -4, I'm going to multiply both sides by -4. Even though it's multiplication, I am going to still flip it. So y is less than or equal to -4, 0, -4, +4. Y is less than or equal to -4. So close circle on -4, and it's to the left. This is less.
And our test is on Monday?
No, it should be Wednesday. It's 11th.
Oh, I'm not here.
If you are not here on 11th, please let me know,
I'm
and
not
I'll set it up to do earlier. If you want to take it after break, you technically can. That is a bad idea, though.
Because then it goes on your next report, right?
No, it goes on the old report card, but you're going to be out of school for 2 weeks. My brain is dead after 2 weeks. Your brain?
Are you doing anything special for break?
No. That's the best part.
Are you gonna go and still developing? So are you gonna get like?
Mr. Tobo, is the test ready tomorrow? I don't want to do it during Friday.
Are you gonna get any like exciting food or anything? Maybe you could like try a new cupcake restaurant.
Wait, this is very
I know what?
So number 1, it just asks what's the first step you would use. Technically, you could continue to solve it, but the first step I would use here, just remember when you have a 2-step, you move the adding and subtracting first. So I would -6 on both sides, okay?
Yeah.
And here, I would +5 on both sides. It just asks you to do the first step, so I'm just doing the first step. Here, I would distribute 2. Here, I would distribute 2. Here, I would plus, in this one, this is 4n and 2n. My rule is always move the smaller n, or smallest variable. So which one's smaller, 4 or 2? 2. So I would -2n here. Very important though, because people get this confused. When you minus the 2n here, it's going to be 2n minus 3 is greater than 0 because it's left over, nothing left over. Some people get that confused, and some people are like, well, what do you do when there's nothing there? Well, you put the number that represents nothing, 0. And then here, you have 6 and negative 4. The smallest of the two is the negative 4. So plus 4, b, I should say, plus 4b. And that would look like 10b plus 1 is greater than or equal to 9. Again, just do the first step. That's why I asked you this question, please.
Are we gonna have questions on the test or are we only solve the first step?
No. Again, this is just a practice sheet. So.
Also, since I was in the very beginning, why are we doing this?
We could do it tomorrow, but let me get the video out earlier.
Yes, we can study it. Do it tonight.
More so, tomorrow, what I leave for tomorrow is for you guys to practice and you just come up to me. So it's a little bit easier on my side. I'm going to be here tomorrow. I'm saying you walk up to me in the classroom. Like, otherwise, I'm just going to chill on my desk. Right. Here, 3 more than 2 times the number x. So 3 more than 2 times the number. 3 more, please. So, no, 3 more than. If I had $3 more than 10, I would have $13. So 3 plus. 3 plus 2 times the number. So 2 times x is greater than. So greater
Are we
than
gonna have that on the test?
27. These
Yeah.
level is fair. Yes, this level of question is fair. It won't be like a matching this. It's great.
Oh, good.
Okay. So you will write that, and that matches with number B, letter B.
Honestly, I feel like the matching might be easier because if you're like
Yeah, it is.
swapping between, if there's gonna be like a plus this way or that way, it's easier because you're like this one matches plus 4.
Yeah, I don't want it to be easy. I want it to be the level
I'm
of
thinking of downloading that.
guys in the back. I will stop recording, and then you can be the enemy of the whole class. Stop talking.
For homework, instead of these, can we have more of like the letter thing that you did, the cat worksheet?
I mean, if I find them, I got them.
No. Yeah.
It was a very controversial worksheet. I'm surprised. Actually. I thought that was
so
cool.
difficult because like if you do it wrong, you like can't get the like end result.
All right. But that's like literally matching, though, actually. The thing you just mentioned. All right, guys in the back, one more time. Please be quiet. Next one. These are solving the steps. Remember, do whatever you need to do to get x by itself. In this one, 2x plus 4 is greater than or equal to 6. Minus 4 minus 4.
Would we get
2x.
the same result if we just switched the greater than or equal to sign to equal and then at the end we add it in?
You could do that, absolutely. Just make sure you don't forget to flip it if you divide or multiply by a negative.
What if it's 2 negatives?
2 negatives? Doesn't matter. If the thing moving over is negative, that's when you flip it. So whatever you move over,
If
multiply
there's any
negative.
negatives in the whole equation, you just switch it?
Absolutely not. That's not how I said it. I said when you move over a negative, so you multiply or divide by a negative, anytime you flip it. Even if you do it twice, you flip it twice.
Okay.
Okay?
So if it's dividing by a negative into a negative, you just don't do anything.
No. Only the motion counts. So you're dividing by a negative. That's the only thing that causes it flip. If you're going into a negative, that doesn't matter.
I get it.
So 0, 1, negative 1. X is bigger than 1. So close circle here to the right. Is there anything else that's a little interesting? Let's do 15. Hopefully this answers your question. This one, minus 3 minus 3. Negative 2y is greater than or equal to 0, because 3 minus 3 is 0. That's left over. Divided by negative 2 on both sides. Y is greater than or equal to, what's 0 divided by negative 2? It's still 0. But because I divided by a negative, I have to flip the
You
sign.
can divide by 0.
But I didn't divide by a 0. I divided a 0. Different things. So it's y is less than or equal to 0. You have to flip the sign. Even though the number did not change at all, you have to flip the sign. 0, 1, negative 1. This one is actually on 0 itself. And then y is smaller, so go to the left. I'll move on to the next one. All right, 5.4, last section. All right. how do we represent this one as a graph or as a statement? So for number 1, it is in between 4 and 8. Because it's in between, it is an and statement. So for number 1, it's going to be 4 is smaller than or equal to. And I use smaller than or equal to because it's x. Or I'm sorry, because it's a closed circle. My variable, which I'll call x. That x is smaller than or equal to, because it's a closed circle, 8. So 4 is smaller than or equal to x, which itself is smaller than or equal to 8. AKA saying the number is between 4 and 8. Number 2, they're going opposite directions. So because they're going opposite directions, that's a or statement. So in this case, x is less than, here, less than, not equal to, because there's an open circle, -3. So that's the first part. That's this part right here. Or x is greater than 0. So x is less than -3, or x is greater than 0. Okay? Number 3, -1 is a small number. -1 is less than or equal to x, which is less than 3. So -1 is less than or equal to x, which is just less than 3. Not less than or equal to, because it has an open circle. So if it's going opposite directions, it's or. If it's going the same direction, it's and. All right. So for this one, number 7, pretty basic, because I didn't give you any math to do. So this one, it's in between -3 and 7. So it's -3. I'll put 7 over here. They're both open circles because they're both less than or equal to. Because I don't see the word, it must be and, because it must be both at the true at the same time. So inside. Number 9, x is less than -6, or x is bigger than 2. So x is less than -6. So that's going to be an open circle on -6. X is smaller than that, so it goes to the left. Or x is greater than or equal to, so a closed circle, x is bigger than 2, so to the right. So pretty easy. You don't have to do any math. You just put the numbers down, okay? But that's not how it's going to be on the test always. Let's do some with some. Where is it?
You go back up, like all the way to the end.
What's up?
Nothing.
Copy it down. And hurry.
Just one equation.
And hurry. Good, Shane? On the back of this page, some of them are word statements. All numbers, they say real numbers just to make sure you know what you're talking about. All real numbers that are greater than 7 or less than 1. So all numbers, aka x, that is greater than 7. So x is greater than 7, or, so I write or here, all the real numbers less than 1. So all the real numbers, x is less than 1. Seven, closed circle to the right, x is bigger than 7. 1, open circle. Oh, I'm sorry, these are open circles, my fault. And then to the left. All the numbers that are greater than or equal to -2 and is less than 4. So all real numbers is greater than or equal to -2 and is less than 4. So the and statement is a little tough. So for the and statement, I know -2 is my smaller number and 4 is my bigger number. So I'm going to put -2, I'm going to put x, and I'm going to put 4. Because I know those are going to be there for sure. Now, all real numbers are greater than or equal to -2. So -2 must be less than or equal to x. All real numbers are greater than, or all real numbers are less than 4. So all real numbers are less than 4, so just less than 4. No equal to. -2, 4. Close circle on -2. Open circle on 4. Color on the inside because it's an and
Look at
statement.
how earlier it's Chinese and we always miss.
Wait, why is it? I have a question. Why is it filled in for 7?
I always use it.
That was a mistake. It should not be filled in.
Oh, okay, I was just like very confused on that.
Not my fault.
Okay.
Okay.
Great job,
Number 20. When you have this and statement, please, I beg you, don't make this mistake. When you do this, you're going to write it as two separate equations. 0 is less than x plus 6, and x plus 6 is less than or equal to 15. Do not leave anything in the middle behind. Because some people, they just split it like this, and they just draw zeros greater, less than x. So don't do that part. Then you do each problem separately. -6, -6. -6 is less than x. -6, -6. X is less than or equal to 9.
That's bad. I agree with that statement.
It does a little bit.
Wait,
So,
what-
-6,
what did they put the sign?
9, open circle, close circle, in the middle.
Beautiful.
So the next color cafe to get Chinese.
Last one.
Okay.
First one, 2x minus 1 is less than 3, or 2x plus 1 is greater than or equal to 11. Plus 1 on both sides. 2x is less than 4, divided by 2 on both sides. X is less than 2. Minus 1 on both sides. 2x is greater than or equal to 10, divided by 2 on both sides. X is greater than or equal to 5. So I put 2, I put 5. X is smaller than 2, open circle to the left. 5x is greater than or equal to 5, close circle to the right. Use this video to help you review.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
And